بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهديه واقتدى بسنته إلى يوم الدين وبعد. فقد قال جل وعلا في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد نصركم الله في مواطن كثيرة ويوم حنين إذ أعجبتكم كثرتكم فلم تغن عنكم شيئا وضاقت عليكم الأرض بما رحبت ثم وليتم مدبرين. صدق الله العظيم. Honorable scholars, respected brothers, elders and friends, Allah Rabbul Izzat has encouraged and exhorted us in the performance of good deeds, and Allah has equally encouraged us to hasten in its performance. So one thing is a reality: human by his very disposition, by his very makeup, he likes to expedite the process. He likes to do things quickly. That is why the scholars of tafsir say, while a hasty nature is part of every human, the only thing that separates the noble from the wicked are the noble hasten in virtues while the wicked hasten in vice. So everybody wants to get things happening. Some want virtues to happen quickly and deliver and perform before my eyes closed, and others want to party and enjoy and exploit and perpetrate before I die. The kind of phrases the Quran has adopted is sari'u, rush, sabiqu, start a race and excel. These are the phrases of the Quran. Fas'u, advance, lead. Fafirru, if need be, run towards Allah. Don't be late, don't be slow, don't be lethargic. And the Master ﷺ has said in his hadith, Badiru bil a'mali sab'a, hasten in the performance of good deeds before you are paralyzed by 7 situations and you won't able to perform it. هل تنتظرون إلا فقرا منسيا? Let it not be that abject poverty grips you, and out of desperation you don't have food, leave alone strength to obey Allah. Or غنى مطغيا, or let it not be that you are favored with abundance of affluence and it results in arrogance and haughtiness, and that drives you away from Allah. So the Prophet said, before these paralyzing crises kick in, you need to get yourself going. And this is not far-fetched when we talk of, maybe in the context more relevant, the latter than the former, where a person is gripped by the affluence that makes him heedless of Allah. So here's the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and I often say, we are living in a time a person can refresh and renew his iman purely by seeing the statistics and the prophecies that the Prophet had prophesied, which we are living to see. Not the best of times to be in, not the greatest of eras to live in, but the only solace we have that tomorrow is worse than today. As evil as today is, tomorrow is going to be worse than today. Muawiyah radiallahu anhu used to say, Ma'rufu zamanina munkaru zamanin qad mada, wa munkaruhu ma'rufu zamanin lam ya'ti. These words can only be articulated by a man who sat in the company of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ma'rufu zamanina, what we consider as noble today was pretty much a vice yesterday. Wa munkaruhu, and what we consider evil today, times the degeneration and the decline is happening so swiftly, the virtue of today, or the vice of today will be the virtue of tomorrow. The vice of today will be the virtue of tomorrow. Today you say this boy is rude, he's got an attitude. Tomorrow he will make up the better of the class. He will be the good boy in the class. Whatever he is rude, at least he still comes home. That one comes rude and he doesn't consider his father as a father. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith of Tabarani, a time will come, a man will lose his faith, forsake his iman because of his children. It was too difficult for the Sahabah to reconcile. Where around you were youth who were diligent, who were compliant, who were devout, who would bow down to their parents, who would give their life. And the Nabi of Allah prophesies such a bleak era, such a daunting moment. يَقُولُ هَلَاكُ الرَّجُلِ عَلَى يَدِ زَوْجَتِهِ وَأَبَوَيْهِ. A man will lose his faith because of his family members and his kids. When the Nabi of Allah dissects and unpack, how does this all happen? The Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam elaborates and he says, يُعَيِّرُونَهُ بِالْفَقْرِ وَيُكَلِّفُونَهُ مَا لَا يُطِيقُ. Collectively
on his financial status. So the children are dead, you hardly earn. When last you took us for a holiday? We're tired of these economy flights. Now it needs to happen in business class. I've never only sat in a business lounge. Show me what's the first lounge all about. يُعَيِّرُونَهُ بِالْفَقْرِ. They will taunt him. They will take him on. They'll tease him. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, and they will put financial burdens beyond his muscle, beyond his economic strength, beyond his budget. It will be really out. And then they will say, do or die, make or break. Either you remain in this house and you bring in X amount of money to give her these luxuries, or else then this marriage breaks up. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, in this place, caught up between a rock and a hard place, many will opt and resort to haram measures to sustain these greeds of their children, and in doing so, they will have to bid farewell to the iman. May Allah protect us. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, hasten before such things happen. Now, let's just look at 1-2 examples, and this is really just the forward to what I really want to touch on. When the verse was revealed, or when the Prophet ﷺ was with his Sahabah in a particular campaign, and he encouraged them and he exhorted them, and he said, respond to the call of Allah, قُومُوا إِلَى جَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ, a paradise, which is real, which is true, the width of which is the heavens and the earth. So there is a Sahabi by the name of Umair radiallahu anhu, and he has a date in his hand. And he says, لَإِنْ حَيِّيتُ حَتَّى أَكُلَ مِنْ تَمَرَاتِ هَذِهِ إِنَّهَا لَحَيَاةٌ طَوِيلَةٌ. O Nabi of Allah, he gets ecstatic, he's elated. So he's like, wow, amazing, awesome, is this real? The Nabi of Allah said, of course, what's all these exclamations and expressions? He said, O Nabi of Allah, you're whetting my appetite. You're tantalizing me. Is Jannat so real and this is what Allah has kept? He said, indeed Allah has kept this here. So he has a date in his hand. He drops the date and he said, am I going to prolong my life to digest this date, to consume this date, and thereafter perhaps I will respond to the call of Allah? I think I can do without this date. I think I can do without this date. Just to draw the parable closer to home, our situation at the time of Ramadan, when the Maghrib Adhan is called out, we negotiate in another bite of that samosa. We negotiate in another bite of whatever savory I need to eat. I can make it. First rakat, I'll get there. Second rakat. Why? Because prayer is not integral to me. It's not vital. It doesn't hold that importance in my life. رَكْضًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ زَادٍ إِلَّا التُّقَى. I respond to the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with no claims other than trying to hasty in the performance of good deeds. So when the Prophet ﷺ is sitting with the Sahaba, he's having a discussion. Suddenly he stands up and he abruptly just excuses himself. Leaves everybody in panic. It wasn't polite, a modest, a gentle. It was a sudden, it was an abrupt. Something, disturbed him. He went inside, did something, and he returned. Sahaba were alarmed by the sudden move, by the abrupt movement. Oh, Nabi of Allah, he's all fine, what's all this about? The Rasul said, I just had a flash that I had some money in my possession, and I really didn't want the night to pass with that in my possession, least I meet my Allah in the state. So as I had that thought, I said, let me get on quickly and let me dispose of that and dispense of that, least I meet my fate and I die tonight. So here the Prophet ﷺ addresses the Sahaba, مَنْ الَّذِي يُقْرِضُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. Who amongst you are those who can give Allah a loan? So a Sahabi by the name of Abu Tahdah radiallahu anhu comes, he said, O Nabi of Allah, did I understand this correct? Is Allah asking us a loan, knowing very well that Allah is independent of all financial aid and Allah is independent of everything? إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَسْتَقْرِضُنَا وَهُوَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْقَرْضِ. Look at the profoundness and the articulate nature and the comprehensive words of the Rasul. Comprehensive yet voluminous, and this again was one of his salient features that Allah had endowed him with. He said, yes, يُرِيدُ أَن يُدْخِلَكُمُ الْجَنَّةَ بِهِ. Allah is just providing you another opportunity to get you into paradise. Oh, Nabi of Allah, is Allah asking us for a loan, but Allah doesn't need. Allah is just giving you another portfolio to invest. Is this opening up another avenue? Maybe some will get in. That is why I often say, every man who gets into paradise will enter through the mercy of Allah. However, every occupant of paradise will have a different action which attracted Allah's mercy. So some man's dutiful nature to his mom will attract paradise,
paradise, another man's generous nature will attract paradise, another man's kindness to some pauper or some beggar might attract the mercy of Allah, another man's leniency in his business to his clientele might attract the mercy of Allah. So every occupant of paradise, may Allah make us amongst them, will enter ultimately through the sheer mercy of Allah. But every man will have a different tale to narrate which attracted the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So anyway, he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, instantly responding to a situation. He said, O Nabi of Allah, I have two orchards. إِحْدَاهُمَا بِالسَّافِلَةِ وَالْأُخْرَى بِالْعَالِيَةِ. One is sitting, if you know Makkah geographically is situated on a slope. One is on the upper end of Makkah, one is on the lower end of Makkah. And I have donated both to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi Sallallahu said, wait, hang on, let's just calculate things and let's just put things into perspective. Why don't you keep one and then one you can donate to the cause of Allah. So instantly he said, okay, I'll run with that, but what I'll do is the better of the two I'll give to Allah and the other one I'll give. قَدْ جَعَلْتُ خَيْرَهُمَا لِلَّهِ. Nabi Sallallahu said, well, the more you give, the more merrier, the greater your reward. He said, O Nabi of Allah, it is an orchard in which there are 600 date palms. This is not a small investment, this is not a small donation. Nabi Sallallahu said, great, wonderful. He then comes to his wife who was sitting in. The respect he shows to that orchard of his which he has donated. The point I'm harping and stressing on is, the Quran tells us do good and hasten. Time is too short. Time is too short. I often quote this. They say life is so short, there isn't enough time to love. I don't know where people find time to hate. Life is so short, there isn't enough time. I didn't even phone to say MashaAllah and Jazakallah and Subhanallah and congratulations and great and wonderful. And I can pick up the time, or I can type an SMS. And I often say to people, when you are pressing that button, that's a calculated choice. You can slip up with your utterance, but you cannot slip up with a text. That's a measured thing. You know what you're saying. You understand the hostility of that nature. You can appreciate the antagonism of the content of it. You can appreciate how bitter, how crude, how unpleasant it is. And yet, you can muster the courage to press that text and release it and say a whole lot of nasty things. You know, we need to ask ourselves some serious questions. Where we heading and how we heading in the life in which we live for the short period that Allah has given us.
So he comes to the orchard and he says to his wife, هَدَاكِ رَبِّي سُبُلَ الرَّشَادِ إِلَى سَبِيلِ الْخَيْرِ وَالسَّدَادِ بَيْنِي مِنَ الْحَائِطِ بِالْوَدَادِ فَقَدْ مَضَى قَرْضًا إِلَى الْكَنَادِ. Now this is an amazing spirit. He said, my wife, may Allah reward you and guide you to virtue and nobility. You know best how much I love my God. You know what this orchard means to me. You know how much I have toiled and I have invested in this orchard. Anyway, I need to bring it to your notice. أَقْرَضْتُهُ قَرْضًا. I've actually given this to Allah as an investment for our entire family. عَلَى اعْتِمَادِ, with great conviction. لَا مَنًّا وَلَا ارْتِدَادِ. And I know very well I'm doing Allah no favor and I'm not going to retract. I'm not going to have two-minded. How often if a man gives also, or a person does, when we want to do good, we have counter thoughts. Then we think it's istikhara, inspiration, means devilish injections. It's devilish indoctrinations. And then we think, no, my istikhara is giving my own navigation. I told one brother, never mind our navigation losing signal, we losing our own device today. Leave alone losing direction and navigation, we losing the entire device. أَقْرَضْتُهُ اللَّهَ عَلَى اعْتِمَادِي بِالتَّوْرِ لَا مَنًّا وَلَا ارْتِدَادِ إِلَّا رَجَاءَ الضِّعْفِ فِي الْمِعَادِ. I'm hoping minimum I'll take double from Allah on the day of Qiyamah. فَارْتَحِنِي بِالنَّفْسِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. So he calls out to his wife, he says, listen my partner, listen my spouse, I cannot end it belongs to Allah. You want to modestly exit from the closest exit and come out of this orchard, 600 date palms. وَالْبِرُّ لَا شَكَّ فَخَيْرُ زَادٍ قَدَّمَهُ الْمَرْءُ إِلَى الْمَعَادِ. And surely the lowest investment any person can have is virtue and good deeds. Look at the triangle relation. You have a wife, husband and children. What is the wife to say? You didn't consult with me. Try your luck and bring a visitor home without consulting. Try your luck and just do something unprepared. Go in the kitchen and dish out. Dish out. If you're so bold and brave, good luck. And no offense. But really the spirit is all muddled up. Our priorities are upside down. You know what? It's our formalities. And I said this in one of my talks. Islam doesn't say you have to go the extra mile. Islam says call the man and it brings a wholesome lot of barakat in your house. This is the analogy. This is the thing others cannot identify. So here is the Islamic model of investment and business. The Western model is you need need money, I've got 50,000 in my pocket, it's sitting for me, I'm going to borrow it to you with so much interest. And X amount of money, I give it to 5 people and I can earn myself a handsome amount of return monthly. But Islam says, no, 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 that's going to bring the wrath of Allah, that's going to bring the curse of Allah. So what's my return from an Islamic perspective? I got this 50,000, it's not bringing me good, it's not bringing me bad. But when I give it to you to help you, now that will avert divine tragedies from my life. And every day you're going to make dua, it's going to bring prosperity in my children. And every time you're going to use that cow, وَأَن تَصَدَّقُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Every grace and every respite I give you is going to bring happiness in my life. And this is what we've lost. This is barakat what we've lost. We've determined barakat as to grow from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3. Well, let me change those. They have the most barakat in the world, my friend. They have the most. They don't believe in Allah and they have barakat. Because that is a flawed definition of barakat. Al-manafi'u al-kathira bi-asbab al-qalila. Barakat in essence is Allah gives me greater benefit and satisfaction from my humble shop than what you have from your 10 shops at 20 malls. That is it. Al-manafi'u al-kathira, multiple bi-asbab al-qalila. So how does the wife respond? بَشَّرَكَ اللَّهُ بِخَيْرٍ وَفَرَجٍ. You've been an amazing man, my husband. You've done it. May Allah bless you. The first to give testimony in your favor will be on the day of Qiyamah, will be myself. مِثْلُكَ أَدَّى مَا لَدَيْهِ وَنَصَحْ. I don't know if a man has ever struck the fine balance between taking care of his family needs and equally donating in the path of Allah other than you. The first one to oppose us is our family. We living in that bleak era where the Master said your children will plot to evict you from your own home. They will plot to put all nasty titles against you. And here was this triangle relation, may Allah bless you. And then the mother looks at the son and then she takes out the days. Kids are kids, they're going to fill the pockets. You see a child running in a hall, in and out. He's not looking for his mother, he's coming in, taking candies, delivering, coming in, he's operated. That's a kid. That's a kid, he has an operation running. And the smirk is louder than verbal words. A child who will tell you won't be so loud as a child who's got that smirk and he's running up and down, in and out. Either he's got that gum with him, or he's got that wet wipe with him, or he's got something else in his pocket. So kids are kids. The mom says, listen my kids, I love you, your dad loves you. But Allah, the dad has given all this to Allah. Dad has given all this to Allah. And then she dusts their sleeves and she empties their pockets and tears just well up in the eyes of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's too emotional. It's just too much to see. And he says, "Come min riddin radahin wa darin fayyahin li abi tahda." Heaven alone knows what this family is going to enjoy in paradise.
Heaven alone knows. So the point I'm saying is the Quran exhorts us in increasing, in intensifying. That's an ideal situation. Do quick, hasten, have multiple investments. A simple business analogy. When a person has multiple investments, it is taking strain on one. He doesn't get too excited because he will offset his liabilities and his losses from one shop with another shop. But if a man only has one shop and he's hawking and the weather is bad, that man is in panic because I don't have any other place to go. All my revenue I generate is from one shop. If the rain is bad, I don't open up my shop. Really speaking, my brothers, you and I only have one good deed. We only have one, and by one what I'm saying is we have very little. And the focus of my talk is, let that investment of yours mature. Preserve it and protect it. We don't have lot on the day of Qiyamah that when I get before life, my heart backfires, I got nothing to counter it. If this thing falls back, I can come forward with this here. I don't have. I have very little. I cannot afford to compromise the profoundness of that little. And that's the action and that's the message. The Master Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, do something little, but do it properly. It will give you a good livelihood to get you into paradise.
So here is Sayyidina Suleiman alayhi salatu wasalam. He is walking with his convoy and his entourage. And Allah had favored him in a great way. حَتَّى إِذَا أَتَوْا عَلَى وَادِ النَّمْلِ. He passes a colony of ants. قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم. So one ant says to the other ant, let's get in our hole. لا يحطمنكم سليمان. Let not the army of Suleiman crush you and trample you. وهم لا يشعرون. And they won't even realize due to their mind and their awe. Now amongst the privileges that Allah had afforded to the family of Suleiman was, the Quran said in the very same juz in the 19th in Surah Naml, عَلِمْنَا مَنْطِقَ الطَّيْرِ. We can appreciate the conversation of animals. Conversation of animals. Today we try trying to eavesdrop in what our children are talking, and then also we can't really get in. We can't really get in. You know, it's a very bar and a very close house. My young son one day told me, he said, Dad, you want to move out? This is for small kids, no adults allowed. This is for kids, no adults allowed. So there's a colony of ants. And here one ant is telling the fellow ants, move out, Suleiman is coming. What a moment, what an humbling moment. How many of us can carry ourselves with respect and humility if you're a guest of honor, and as you've been ushered in, and all the lights are on you, and all the focus is on you, and you know what, you've been taken in with great honor, pomp and glory. How many of us can carry us in that position, and how many of us can manage our dignity? For a moment, unfortunately, we get conceited and we get inflated. In English, they say, he who's wrapped up in himself makes a small package. He who is wrapped up in himself makes a small package. And unfortunately, that is what our condition. Each man is wrapped up in himself. I'm operating this place here. Beautiful sign at the cemetery that hit my eyes. Inside this graveyard, there's many people who thought the world wouldn't function without them. If any, it's functioning much better.
My word. كم تركوا من جنات وعيون. I'm not operating anything. You doing nothing, my brother. Inside this place, there are many people who thought everything will come to an end. So what happens? Sayyidina Suleiman alayhi salam comes to this colony of ants. So when he hears this, he's humbled. فَتَبَسَّمَ ضَاحِكًا مِنْ قَوْلِهَا. There is a tear, there is a chuckle, there is mixed emotions. Ya Allah, you've given me so much. Humans are moving, even insects are moving. He said, bring that ant to me. And this is a long story, he's mentioning Nafatul Arab. I don't want to go into too much time. He said to the ant, he said, لِمَا حَذَّرْتِ النَّمْلَ مِنْ ظُلْمِ أَمَا عَلِمْتِ أَنِّي نَبِيٌّ عَدْلٌ. What's all the scuffle about and all those announcements and move and mobilize and clear and remove? Don't you know I'm a Nabi of Allah? I fear I won't harm any creation. So the ant said, Suleiman, would you read here my whole story? I said, let not the army of Suleiman trample you inadvertently, without realizing. So I didn't make a deliberate accusation against you. I said, you won't realize we're so tiny and we're so great. So Suleiman alayhi salam had a smile. He said, Subhanallah. Then he asked, Suleiman alayhi salam asked the ant, would you advise me? And this was the beauty of the pious. In Tanweer al-Adhan, which is the tafsir, in the footnotes there's an incident mentioned of Malik bin Dinar. He was walking and he passed by some kids that were playing. And then he took a step forward and then he said, no man, I think that's arrogant on you. Step and greet that child. When Nabi of Allah greet the children, you won't lose anything. Greet that child. So he took a step back and he said, sorry boy, how are you doing boys? All good? Assalamu alaikum. And that was the teachings of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam.
So he said, wa alaikum assalam, nice checking with you. And he realized the richness of this boy, the profoundness of his conversation. So he said, can I engage you? He said, go for it. Today if I want to test the boy, I'll tell you, well, who's playing? What's the score? What's the latest? That's how we would play and assess people. But those times the dialogue were rich, they were meaningful, they were wholesome, they had great value. You know, I often, let me mention this here. So he said, let me ask you a question, boy. What's the difference between the human intellect and the human ego? He said, it's very simple. Your ego is what told you ignore me because of a kid and walk ahead. And your intellect told you come back because the Prophet of Allah greeted kids. My word, he was blown off his balance. He said, Ya Allah, what is this? And that is why one great scholar said, humility is to accept the truth even if it's from the Judea. To deny the truth in a humble way is sheer arrogance. The denial of truth constitutes arrogance, whether you're polite or you're hostile. Some of us think if you mumble, you're humble. Mumbling is not humble, my brother. Anyway, Suleiman alayhi salam asked the ant, give me some advice. He said, أَتَعْرِفْ لِمَا سُمِّيَ أَبُوكَ دَاوُودَ. Do you know why Allah called your father Dawood? Why your father was named Dawood? Suleiman said, no, I don't know. He said, لِأَنَّهُ دَاوَى جَوَاحَةَ قَلْبِهِ. Because he took care of reforming the maladies of his heart. So that is the meaning and the deeper meaning of Dawood. And that's a link to you as well for Suleiman. Do you know why Allah made the wind subservient to you? Suleiman said, no, I know it's a boon and it's a favor and a mercy from Allah. He said, let me tell you why. Because the subtle reference in this boon and favor is to say the world is nothing more than a wind. The world is nothing more than the wind. Today it's here, tomorrow it's blowing elsewhere. So if you're relying on this here, it's moving, it's just passing by. So anyway, this was the interaction of Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam with this ant. He comes there and then he makes dua to Allah. He says, Allah, you've given me so much, the ants are moving. رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتَكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِ. Oh my Lord, give me the ability to really be grateful. Allah, you've given me so much. In English, someone said, some of us stagnate on the door that Allah has closed for such a long period that we become oblivious to all the other doors that have opened up.
So here is life, and that's a harsh reality. One door closed. Somebody said, don't try and understand. Don't try and understand the mysteries of Allah in His decision. Because the rhythm of life is just when you understand the question, life changes the question very well. The rhythm of life is just when you're trying to put this puzzle together. Allah, but this now, how, why, now. Just when you're trying to digest this whole puzzle in place. I and you collectively will never able to understand the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When, where, what, how, why. Something we have to submit to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Somebody asks me and I say I don't have the answer. Perhaps I am camouflaging my ignorance or veiling my lack of knowledge. But somebody knocked the door of Ali radiallahu anhu and said, Ali, you tell us. Tell us predestiny. What happens to a person? Can you simplify this? Ali radiallahu anhu said, هُوَ الطَّرِيقُ الْمُظْلِمُ لَا تَسْلُكُهُ. It's a dark road, brother, don't walk on it. The man persists, I need to know, I want to digest, I want to reconcile, I want to understand, I need to synchronize. How come this woman this life, that person is financial sickness? How do I put this thing together? Ali radiallahu anhu said, وَبَحْرٌ عَمِيقٌ لَا تَلِجُ. It's a deep ocean, don't dive, you'll drown. The person came again, Ali, please man, can you sort out to me and tell me what's happening in the world? How do we reconcile? Ali radiallahu anhu said, هُوَ سِرُّ اللَّهِ قَدْ خَفِيَ عَلَيْكِ. It's a secret of Allah, don't try and probe it. Don't try and probe it.
So what did Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam say? He said, Allah, give me the ability to be grateful to you. A very amazing thing. When Allah addressed the family of Sulaiman and Dawood, Allah didn't say, I gave you a lot, be grateful to me. Allah said, إِعْمَلُوا آلَ دَاوُودَ شُكْرًا. Allah said, display your gratitude. Live your gratitude. Walk the door. A child comes, and I talk in the capacity with the feather of the feather on my head of a father and a humble scholar. A child comes and, Dad, I love you. What do you say? Prove it. Mama, I love you. Explain it. Deliver it, exhibit it, convey it. The story I've heard enough of you. In fact, when the child comes and says, Dad, I love you, I say, okay, we'll talk about that later. What do you want? Dad, I love you. Abu, I love you so much. Okay, I know you love me. Tell me how much you need. I'm in ATM. What did Allah say to Dawood? إِعْمَلُوا. You know how to thank Allah. Allah said, no, come and tell you how to thank me. Deliver it, perform it, convey it, display it, exhibit it. That is what Allah says. What did He say? أَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ. Allah give me the ability to obey you. تَرْضَاهُ. From this the scholars make great deductions. Sulaiman alayhi salam didn't only say, Allah give me the ability to do good deeds. He said, Allah give me the ability to do it, and then give me the ability to preserve it, so that when I come before you on the day of Qiyamah, you accept it.
A believer needs to know his calendar is full. While you sign with relief that you're back from Hajj, don't be all that excited. The matric students, they write now. After the last paper, you sign, the paper is over. But the joy really kicks in when the results are pleasant. For a believer, when Ramadan is over, you're over with the compliance of those activities. But I can't rejoice because I don't know the results. Remember, you can take your form and you can furnish your form. You can't be all cool, well, I have filled in everything, I got my photograph, the right side, I've done the deposit, I've given my bank references, the ambassador has to approve my visa. No, in bold handwriting, it is at the discretion of the ambassador. And in the event of you losing or revoking or cancelling your application, you forfeit your funds.
You can't claim your ibadat back. If your ambassador has that authority, you think Allah doesn't have an authority to decline the ibadat of you and I? The point I'm saying is, my brother, I don't have multiple investments. If one backfires for me on the day of Qiyamah, I don't have anything to offset it. I need to really nurture the one that I have. I'll share with you two things quickly because time is against me. What are the typical things that destroy good? The first thing the ulama say is where we become obsessed with our good. We become wrapped up. No, I've done a lot, I've achieved a lot, I've performed a lot, I've delivered a lot, I've done this, I have done that. So here a person comes to my mother Aisha radiallahu says, "Mata a'lam anni muhsin." Oh my mother, how do I know that I'm a good person? She said, when you truly believe you're a bad person, then you know you're a good man. Not superficial, not hypocritical, not false, sincerely believe. Muhaddith Masruq said, "Kafa bil mar'i jahlan, kafa bil mar'i jahlan an yu'jiba bi nafsih." You need nothing more to know that a man is ignorant and is obstinate and he's lost his whole thing if he feels conceited about what he has achieved. وَكَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ عِلْمًا أَنْ يَخْشَى اللَّهِ. And it is adequate reflection of the profoundness of the knowledge of an individual if after performing an action he is so afraid. He is so afraid that perhaps Allah might accept it or not accept it. I read the quotation of Hassan Basri and I have a flash of that in my mind. He spoke about Sahabah. He said Sahabah were a group of people. Now listen to this is deep. This is really amazing. After obeying Allah, they feared Him more than how much you obey Allah, how much you fear Allah after disobeying Him. I've seen Sahabah. So Sahabah would perform the Fajr and come out after the Fajr more afraid that did Allah accept my Fajr than the fear or the guilt or the remorse I will have after missing my Fajr. After abusing my eyes, I don't feel so guilty as they would feel after lowering their gaze. So what is the first thing that destroys a person's good action? It is pride and arrogance. The second thing, and I actually wanted to elaborate on that a little more, but I'll try and just condense it, is when a person does good, then he talks about it. He speaks about it. Or he hurls nasty remarks to those who are the beneficiaries of that good. MashaAllah, so you pray there at that place which I sponsored. That's good, man. That madrasa also, that imam, Alhamdulillah. From my forefathers, Alhamdulillah, in the family is running. Talk of the zina running in the family. Talk of the theft running in the family. Talk of all the arrogance running in the family. But we will highlight those few good deeds. And what I'm saying is I don't have much to say. I don't have a leg to stand on. I don't have teeth to bite. I don't know what I'm going to face my Creator with. Protect that. Hold that. Harness that. Nurture that. Preserve that. Put it away. Let your Allah take it out and give it to you on the day of Qiyamah. The little good you do, then you come to your wife. Listen, in case the masjid send you a receipt, just accept it. I'm giving some donations. I just thought tomorrow more or something happens, you don't know, but just accept that. There will be 20 people coming to claim money, talk of that, my brother. The masjid receipt, whether they give or not, your reward is with Allah. So here, listen to this, what Allah says. Oh man, this is so amazing. I'm just cutting it short because there are 3 verses, right? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tubtilu sadaqatikum bil manni wal adha. If I had time, I would have run into this here. Or you who believe, don't destroy the little good you do by reminders of your kindness or by insults to whom you favor. Or you who believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tubtilu sadaqatikum bil manni wal adha. Don't destroy it. Let it nurture, let it come up, let it show some strength. كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. That's like a person who doesn't believe in Allah. This is how he spends. فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابه وابل فتركه صلدا. His similitude and his parable is like a man who sees a layer of dust on a boulder. You know, in the Quran Allah says, those who understand the parables of the Quran, they are people of knowledge. One scholar used to cry every time he couldn't understand the parable of the Quran. And he said, this is a reflection of how much I'm distant from truth that I cannot even comprehend. People will sit down and say, wait, now explain to me now, how does this whole sport thing operate? Now tell me this currency thing, how does this work? Now tell me this politics in the world and the landscape, how does it? You brainstorming to work out which currency is falling and which one is appreciating and depreciating. Leave that, break your head to understand Quran. Surely you need to be abreast with basic developments, and I'm not suggesting or insinuating you must be oblivious. But things that are unrelated to you, you don't have to brainstorm for that, but brainstorm to understand the Quran. وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ. So here is this boulder on which there is a layer of dust, and he plants the seed. That's not a fertile place, it's not the right place. But an opportunist, he wants to strike, put a seed in, plant it. فَأَصْلَبَهُ وَادٍ. Comes a heavy downpour, clears up the entire boulder. No dust, no seed, no crops, no harvest. Allah says those who spend and they insult or they remind on the day of Qiyamah, just as this boulder is clean. There's no trace that a person had sand, leave alone a seed.
That's how your good deeds will disappear. وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. We will focus on the good deeds performed, but due to the fact that it didn't satisfy the necessary requirements, it will be reduced to nothing but dust in the air. Then Allah goes on to say, the man who does things in the right way. And again, I'm happy, and this is my theme and my pattern in all my talks. I try and leave my congregation with a message. Take something home. I need to do one thing. Apply my mind and do it properly, do it thoroughly, so that I can, one day a youngster came to me and it left me, it really touched me.
I gave a talk at the funeral and I said, the Prophet ﷺ said, if a person has 40 people at his funeral that will pray for him sincerely, hopefully that would secure his pardon. And he came to me, he wasn't a very religiously looking dressed person, and I'm not saying this in a condescending context, I'm just putting things into perspective. And he said, this gives me so much hope. If I speak to my friends and I speak to some scholars and I ask them to please come at my funeral and I pre-arrange their attendance of my funeral, will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still forgive me? I said, my brother, your spirit of the desire of forgiveness will inshallah forgive you.
We don't know where they're going to come. And I often say this, and I've said this in many of my talks. People have pool everywhere. I got pool here in the parliament. I got pool when it comes to the travel agents, I got pool here. But when a man dies, and people phone him, why will you come and perform the janazah? There's actually nobody here to lead. And I ask yourself, you can have all the pools, but you're not close to pious people enough. And I'm not saying I'm a pious, please don't get me wrong. There isn't one scholar, I didn't have a personal relation with one man on my individual capacity who felt morally obliged to attend my funeral due to the closeness and the proximity of the relation we share. But let there be any other function, you know what, there will be state representation, the big guys will be there, the high flyers will be there, all will be happening. But tomorrow when it's time to lower me in the grave, we're looking for a scholar to lead the funeral here, and somebody come. We need to ask ourselves serious priorities. Allah gives the second example. Those who spend with goodness, with correctness, with vision. كَمَثَلِ جَنَّةٍ بِرَبْوَةٍ أَصَابَهَا وَابِلٌ فَآتَتْ أُكُلَهَا ضِعْفَيْنِ. He's got his farm, and he's got his orchard, and he's got his plantation at the right location, with the right temperature. That's the beauty of the Quran. The correct breeze and the correct exposure. So he's done his things in the correct way. He's done his homework thoroughly. He knows it back and forward. The Quran says when heavy rain comes on this year, آتَتْ أُكُلَهَا ضِعْفَيْنِ. He has a double produce. Others are battling to harvest one crop, he has double crops. Why? He did it the correct way. He did it in the correct way. And then Allah says, فَإِن لَمْ يُصِبْهَا وَابِلٌ فَطَلْ. Even if there was a bit of a dry season and there wasn't much rain and he couldn't do much, these crops will remain alive even with a drizzle. They will. These are the words of the Quran, meaning, my brother, even if you did something simple and small, but you did it properly, that drizzle will get you into Jannah, my brother. It will get you into Jannah. What's a drizzle compared to buckets of rain and rain in heavy showers? Then Allah concludes this chapter. Now listen to this and give me your undivided attention, and I'll leave you on this note here. Allah paints the picture of the absolute desperation of human on the day of Qiyamah. When desperation kicks in, a man will eat humble pie and he'll do anything. So you walk into a doctor's surgery and a doctor's office, and he does an examination and he says, listen, it's going to cost you X amount. You say, no, that's exorbitant, that's crazy, I can do without it. And you came out, and then other physicians advise you, he's the only man who has the apparent cure. You go back to the man, you apologize, you pay him more than what he actually asked, and you thank him for it. That's desperation. That's desperation. I will be picky about the price of the drink I need and the food I buy. But I'm in an airport and I'm hungry and I need something halal, and I need something to be guaranteed halal. I'll pay triple the price because I'm hungry now. I can't negotiate now. I need the food. If you travel, you'll identify with what I'm saying. Allah says, now look into your desperation. My word makes my hair stand on back. أَيَوَدُّ أَحَدُكُمْ, would you like أَن تَكُونَ لَهُ جَنَّةٌ, that you have a garden, تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ, beneath which rivers are flowing. أَيَوَدُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن تَكُونَ لَهُ جَنَّةٌ مِّن نَخِيلٍ وَأَعْنَابٍ, date palms and vineyards. لَهُ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ, every type of fruit, every type of seed you've planted in there. لَهُ فِيهَا مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ وَأَصَابَهُ الْكِبَرُ, you've worked, you've toiled, you've exerted, you've applied yourself. It's just about to mature. It's just about, it's right time to now take your investment, retirement fund to harvest your fruits. And the Quran said, just at the time for which you toiled and you exerted and exhorted yourself, old age kicked in. You became frail and senile. وَلَهُ ذُرِّيَّةٌ ضُعَفَاءٌ. You've got small, weak, dependent children at home. Now every analogy here is a profound interpretation. So you want to harvest, you are old now, you become sick and you've got these children. And just at the time when you said, listen my kids, I've been working and I've been an absent father and I've been flying and I'm so sorry, but I promise you come today, Dad's a different man and you're going to see what I'm going to do for you. أَصَابَهَا إِعْصَارٌ فِيهِ نَارٌ فَاحْتَرَقَتْ. The day you were meeting with the bank manager to collect your payment and your investment, the day you were going to the field to harvest your crops, Allah said, I had my plans on track. And I said, a cyclone is going to strike a minute before you come. These are the words of the Quran. Iqsarun, the cyclone struck. Fihi narun, in which there are flames. And it reduced it to smithereens. Now the scholars say, if he wasn't old, he could start working again. If he was old, but he didn't have children, he wouldn't have been so worried. My children, I got nothing to care, it's just me. What is it, me and the old lady? My wife is not old. Me and the old lady. We'll take care of ourselves. But here it's him. He's old, his wife is old, and his children. What does the Quran say? His desperation is at its pinnacle, and he only had one hope, and that hope is also not delivered. Why? Because he destroyed the good because of the minds of his generosity. So on the day of Qiyamah, that will be my desperation. And I say, Allah, but I've done this. Allah said, wait, hang on. That is why the ulama say there's one type of truth that is this life. Truth is love, it's accurate, it's honest. But at-thana'ul qabih is one type of truth that Allah doesn't like, and that is when you trumpet yourself. As true as it is, as accurate as it is, as candid as it is, but when you trumpet yourself, you've ruined all your good. I'll leave you with the English saying. They say it's better to give someone an inexpensive gift with a smile than an expensive one with a frown.